Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another competitive guide video. So today we're covering Gyarados. Gyarados is a really fun Pokemon to use and is actually quite a staple from what I can remember from the original Gen 4 games in competitive. But Gyarados honestly is a lot of fun to play. It has a lot of really good moves, it has good abilities, and you know, base 125 attack's huge. Base 100 special defense is pretty good. Base 79 defense a little bit lacking, but with the base 95 HP as well, that actually allows it to be okay. The one thing kind of letting it down is its speed. Base 81 isn't the best, but we can take advantage of that in several different ways. Now, today I've got 4 sets for you, but please could you like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are getting very close to the end of the year, and I would really love to hit 1,600 subscribers by the end of the year. It would mean the absolute world to me, and I'd really appreciate it. And I just want to thank everyone for the support that they're giving me, because the channel has been huge lately. But without further ado, let's get going with Gyarados. So Gyarados, the first set I've got is your typical Dragon Dance Moxie combination set. So Dragon Dance allows you to increase up your speed by 1 and your attack by 1 stage. Now, if you increase your speed up by 1, you're outspeeding the vast majority of Pokemon, unless they are scarfed themselves. With Moxie, every time you knock out a Pokemon, you get another +1 in your attack. So you could theoretically get to a +6 in your attack when taking out the last Pokemon if you're going for like a 6 Pokemon sweep, which would be absolutely huge. But obviously that relies you on taking out Pokemon. Ideally, if you've got a +2 in attack, you would probably be able to OHKO more or less anything that is going to be of worry to you. Now, I put Life Orb on here to increase up the power output of you, but you do not have to do this. You could put on things like the Leftovers for a bit of recovery. The Wakan Berry is always a really good item to put on Gyarados because it's 4 times weak to electric and it will just reduce that impact. I've also put Earthquake on a lot of these sets because Earthquake obviously covers its one of its 2 weaknesses. In fact, both of its weaknesses, now that I think about it. So it covers the ground types and it covers the rock types. Not the ground types, it's ground type move. It covers the electric types and the rock types, super effective damage. So Earthquake hitting really hard on those. Obviously you have Freeze Dry is a concern, but in this generation Freeze Dry is actually less common, so you don't really have to worry about it unless you're seeing very specific Pokemon. Other moves I've gone for are Waterfall, which is a powerful water type move, not Tooth, a water type move boosted by Stab, which obviously will hit really hard, especially under the boost in your attack. And then Crunch, because it's a good coverage attack. Hits a lot of things for neutral, and anything that you can't hit neutrally with Earthquake and Waterfall, you should be able to hit with Crunch, at least as far as I can think of. EV-wise, I've gone for max attack and max speed with an Adamant Nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. You could go for a Jolly Nature here if you wanted to. Obviously, you're going to boost your attack stat up absolutely huge, so you could always go for the plus speed nature. It's entirely up to you based on what you're running. If you're running things like Sticky Webs, that can actually work really nicely in combination with the low speed stat that you've got here, and it will get rid of a lot of choice scarfers unless they're flying. But generally, you know, Sticky Webs could work really nicely, so a combination with Gyarados or Kricketune. I think there's one more Sticky Web, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Moving on to the next Pokemon, not the next one, the next Gyarados. The next Gyarados we've got is a support Gyarados. So on here I've got Leftovers and Intimidate. So Leftovers allows you to get some recovery each turn. Again, you could run the Yachi Berry if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. Intimidate lowers down the attack stat of the opposing Pokemon, which can be absolutely huge for you. Because a lot of the very scary Pokemon in this meta are physical. So you've got things like Garchomp with Burnape, Torterra, Empoleon, Gyarados itself, Luxray. Lots and lots of them, if you intimidate them, are going to become much less viable. I've also got Scald on here. Scald has a 30% chance to burn the opposing Pokemon, which is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, your special attack stat is a lot lower, so the design here isn't to necessarily be causing a huge amount of damage, but you have got Scald here to burn the opposing Pokemon. That is why this is more of a support Pokemon rather than a Pokemon that's going to be taking any kills. So Scald to try and burn that Pokemon. I know it's a 30% chance, but that does seem to happen more than 50% of the time, at least when it's aimed at me. Taunt, because Taunt can be very effective in stopping things from setting up. So, for example, if you had a simple Bibarel setting up a Swords Dance against you, taunting and stopping that from happening and it gains +4 could be absolutely huge. And just taunting in general can just stop a lot of shenanigans from happening. which are going to cause you to have some problems. Things like Toxic as well, because you don't really want that happening. Then we've got Thunder Wave. Now, if you don't want to go for the burn, so for example, it's a special Pokemon, you could go for the Thunder Wave to slow them down. Obviously, there are a lot of Pokemon that are much slower but have a huge attack stat or special attack stat and would benefit from having that support of the opposing Pokemon being paralyzed. So paralyzing Pokemon using Thunder Wave can be absolutely huge as well. And then finally, I just went for another attacking move. You've got Hurricane here. Obviously, it has the chance to confuse. If you're running a rain team, this works even better. But the Hurricane has 70% chance to hit, more than 50% chance, so it's likely to hit, but, you know, it does have a chance to miss. You can also replace that with basically any other attack move that Gyarados does have. You could even go for a physical attacking move if you want to, such as, not necessarily Waterfall, because you've already got water coverage, but something like Earthquake, just to cover those weaknesses, possibly, could really work for you. EV-wise, gone for max HP, max defense with a bold nature, so more defense, less attack, and 4 EVs and special defense. I'm not worrying at all about my attack stats here, because realistically, we don't care about the Scald and the Hurricane doing damage. Obviously, if you're going for an attacking move with the physical attack on the last move, then you could always go for the Impish nature, so plus defense minus special attack, because again, as I said, the Scald isn't designed for damage, it's designed for the burn. So you could potentially do that, but that's entirely up to you what you decide to go for there. Obviously, these are all based on what you want to do. It's just a starting point for you to get there. Moving on to the third Gyarados, we have got a Choice Scarf. As I said, Gyarados' speed is letting it down a little bit, but the Choice Scarf Moxie combination does work pretty nicely. You just have to be very cautious of what moves you are using. So, for example, Earthquake, make sure you're not using that if there is a Flying type Pokemon there, because realistically, your Moxie boost will then go to waste. But if it's the only option, obviously, then do that. But each time you knock out a Pokemon, so hopefully you can come in against a Pokemon that is already low on health. You can click one of the attacks that's going to hit it out, and you get a Moxie boost. And then hopefully, with the +1 attack, you should be able to come in with the late game sweep and hit really, really hard on the majority of Pokemon. Move-wise, Waterfall, powerful stab, water type attack. It obviously hits really hard, especially when boosted with the Moxie. Earthquake for your coverage again. Earthquake is a fantastic move, especially on Gyarados because it covers its weaknesses. Crunch, as I said, good coverage move. And finally, Ice Fang. I thought Ice Fang covers other flying types that you may not want to really kind of have to deal with. So yeah, that was kind of my thought process with that one. EV's gone for max attack and max speed with a jolly nature, so more speed, less attack, and 4 EVs and special defense. You could always go for an adamant nature if you wanted to. As you're boosting your speed and also boosting your attack here, personally, I don't think it really hugely matters which one you end up going for, but it is up to you based on what your team already looks like. If you're wanting a faster one, then go for the plus speed. If you don't need as much speed, then just go for the plus attack. But as I said, up to you what you do there. And moving on to the last one, I have gone for a Choice Specs Gyarados. Now this is, I admit, a very, very interesting set. The fact that its attack stat is still higher than its special attack stat, but this is the kind of thing that would throw out your opponent and they would be very confused as to what is happening. So Choice Specs Gyarados, this is just a completely quirky, gimmicky set, mainly because Gyarados just gets a lot of really good coverage moves on the special side. So I've got Intimidate as the ability because Moxie just does not matter in this case. We've got Hydro Pump, powerful water type attack, boosted by Stab, obviously one of the most powerful water type attacks. We've got Hurricane, which is a strong flying type attack, always hits in the rain. So if you run this with a rain team, it actually works even better because the Hurricane power increases, I think. You've then got Flamethrower, which is a powerful fire type attack. Obviously, it will cover a lot of different things like ice types potentially. It will also cover things like grass types, things like steel types as well. And then Ice Beam just for a little bit more coverage on there as well. EV-wise, gone for max special attack, max speed with a timid nature because you've gone for that Choice Specs. Obviously, if you want to go for the modest nature, you can. You could always go for the max HP, max special attack, modest if you wanted to. But it's entirely up to you what you decide to go for there. Obviously, as I say, it bases on what your team is already looking like and what you feel like you need to fill the holes. This is just an idea to give you some different ideas for your team, especially if you're wanting to use Gyarados. Anyways, that is going to be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Let me know the sets that you use for Gyarados. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.